This franchise has always been about players. It's always been about basketball, and it's about anything we can do to help the player become the best they can be. This is really a huge example and an opportunity to show the rest of the league and the world and that's involved in women's sports what it takes to be a high-level athlete.
It's an unbelievable day for the Indiana Fever, another step for our franchise, again, to make this the best franchise in the world.
The Indiana Fever just made a huge announcement, dropping a $78 million bombshell that's got everyone talking. But here's the kicker. It's not even the biggest news of the day. While people are excited about their new, top-of-the-line facility, we've got some inside scoop on a free agency move that's about to shake up the entire WNBA. Get ready for some exciting developments coming out of Indiana.
So the Indiana Fever announced that they're going to open a new practice facility coming up before the 2027 season. But they're going to get their own facility now. And they showed the mock-ups online, and it's as you would expect, right? It's going to be state-of-the-art. It's going to be awesome.
Caitlin Clark and the entire Fever roster are about to get some big company. But who could be joining them? We've got the inside story on the Fever's bold moves, from their state-of-the-art training center to the superstar free agent they've just secured. Think you know what's next for Caitlin Clark and the Fever? Stick around to find out why Indiana might just become the hottest destination in the WNBA. Are you ready? Let's dive in.
As the CEO of Pacer Sports Entertainment, I couldn't be more excited for both our men's and our women's teams to have their own standalone practice facilities. I think it's expanding our campus in a great way. It's providing them everything they need to have the best performance that they can on the court. And I think it's absolutely the right time to do.
Imagine a basketball paradise that spans a massive 108,000 square feet. That's exactly what the Indiana Fever just revealed. But why now? What's the plan behind this huge investment? Well, this new $78 million facility is set to redefine what a WNBA team's home looks like. It's almost twice the size of any other WNBA facility currently planned or in use, and even bigger than some NBA team facilities. The Fever are making a bold statement, and it's one that's impossible to ignore.
All of the weight and conditioning equipment. Obviously, we'll have 2 full-size courts. It'll be available 24/7 for them to come and utilize it, but also just the best in recovery, the best in mental health, places for them to be able to also record content, podcasts, and other things that they may have to go off-site and waste time doing things like that. So they can really maximize their time spent focusing on their performance and not on other things.
So, what's inside this dream facility? 2 full-size basketball courts for starters, but that's just the beginning. There are strength training areas that could make pro bodybuilders jealous, recovery rooms, saunas, and infrared facilities that feel more like a spa than a gym. It's everything a player needs to perform at their highest level. But here's where it gets even more interesting. They've also got mental health facilities, a full-service kitchen, a podcast studio, and even a nail salon. The Fever aren't just thinking about training. They are thinking about the whole player experience, inside and out. This facility is built to help athletes thrive on and off the court.
Well, first of all, our goals for this new training center is really to provide a first-in-class training center that is designed exclusively for women athletes. And I think that's important to note because it's not just a gym. It's a holistic approach to how women athletes train, recover, rehab.
This is going to be the best in class when it comes to a women's professional training facility. And not just the day that it opens. We're going to set this up and think about this as the best in class for many years to come.
Now, let's talk about timing. This incredible facility is set to open its doors in 2027. That's no coincidence. 2027 is when Aaliyah Boston's rookie contract ends, and Caitlin Clark's contract is up in 2028. The Fever are making moves with the future in mind, sending a clear message to their stars and every free agent out there. This is where you want to be. Compare this to other teams, like the Connecticut Sun, who share their practice space with birthday parties and yoga classes. As Alyssa Thomas of the Sun said, "We're a professional team, we're competing for playoffs, so sharing the court with a 2-year-old's birthday party just doesn't cut it."
In the Connecticut Sun, we practice in like the recreational, like the tribal facility because the team is owned by the tribe. And so sometimes there'll be people doing like yoga classes and
that's crazy.
and different stuff, and like we'll be on the court like practicing on the full court, like the full
During
NBA
your
size
practice,
court.
they doing that?
Right, and then they'll come in and we have to like put the divider down,
hell no.
and then we'll start going on a court that was like smaller than like a high school court. kid you not, while we're in the playoffs.
They talking about keep it down. We got a yoga class going on over here.
Yeah, and it's like you peek your head over the side, and it's like 3 people over there, like doing downward dog or something crazy, right? You know what I'm saying?
This new facility is more than just a building. It's a game changer that could shape the WNBA for years to come. The Fever are positioning themselves as the team every player wants to join, creating an environment where athletes can excel both on and off the court. As free agency decisions loom in the coming years, this massive investment could be the deciding factor in attracting top talent and keeping stars like Boston and Clark in Indiana for the long haul. Now, let's talk about some big free agent news.
As we look toward Indianapolis becoming the epicenter of women's sports, having professional women's sports teams and having dedicated training facilities for them is really a key piece of putting that together.
Here's the bombshell that just hit Indiana. The Fever have made a power move by CED and Kelsey Mitchell. Now, what does that mean? In the WNBA, setting a player is a big deal. It's like putting a giant keep away sign on them. It's a special designation that gives teams exclusive negotiating rights with the player during the free agency period. And Kelsey Mitchell is a star. By offering her a 1-year Supermax contract worth nearly $250,000, the Fever have shown just how much they value her and how committed they are to building a powerhouse team.
So we finally got the news that we expected to hear all along for Kelsey Mitchell. We finally got the news, and it is that Kelsey Mitchell of the Indiana Fever has received the core designation. Yes, Kelsey Mitchell has been cored by the Indiana Fever.
But here's the interesting part. Mitchell could still potentially leave the Fever, but only if the team agrees to trade her. If Mitchell really wanted out, which doesn't seem likely, given how much the Fever are building, then the team could potentially get some serious assets in return. We're talking high draft picks, promising young players, or maybe even another established star. But why would Mitchell want to leave now? The Fever are building something special, and she's at the heart of it. Imagine Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark sharing a backcourt. That's a scoring explosion waiting to happen.
If you're asking me to give a percentage chance of Kelsey Mitchell staying, I would go as far as to say 99. I'd go as far as saying
Mitchell averaged 19.3 points per game last season, a seriously impressive number. And she did it while playing alongside Clark and Boston, who drew a lot of defensive attention. When you have two of the most lethal scorers in the game, Clark and Mitchell, on the same court, defenses are going to have nightmares trying to figure out how to stop them both. The Fever aren't just building a team, they are crafting a roster that could dominate the league for years to come. With 9 players already under contract for 2025, they still have around $650,000 in cap space, which is more than enough to pay Mitchell her Supermax salary while leaving room to sign another max player and a key veteran. With their eye on the future and their commitment to building a top-tier roster, the Indiana Fever are positioning themselves to be a serious contender for years to come. It's clear that they are not just thinking about next season, they are building a dynasty.
As I've said, there's no reason why Kelsey Mitchell wouldn't want to play with the Fever. And we've basically seen the Fever posting about Kelsey Mitchell everywhere. So it's not like it's something that is unlikely, but it is going to be huge. And at this stage, it's trust the process. It's trust the organization. Because look, this organization has proven that they're willing to put the money back to generate.
The Indiana Fever have made some bold moves that could change the WNBA, and it all starts with Kelsey Mitchell. She's just the 5th player in the franchise's 25-year history to receive a special honor called a core designation, which is a big deal. Mitchell is a key player for the Fever, and she's been vocal about how much she loves playing in Indiana. She says there's no reason for her to play anywhere else, as she feels at home in Indianapolis, but the Fever aren't done yet. They've still got a plan to make a huge splash in free agency. There's a player on the market who could be the perfect addition to the team, a 6 feet 4 inches talent who's got the Fever written all over her. That player is Sata Sabali, and she's already hinted at her future. In a recent interview, Sabali revealed that she's already played her last game with the Dallas Wings and is ready to move on. This news set the WNBA on fire, and now it's up to teams to make their pitch. The New York Liberty are one of the teams in the mix, but the Indiana Fever might have the edge. Why? Because of something crucial: cap space. The Fever have money to spend, and Sabali is looking for a max contract, which the Liberty can't offer unless they make big trades. On the other hand, the Fever can afford to pay Sabali what she's asking, and with a strong core already in place, she could be a perfect fit. Imagine a lineup with Caitlin Clark running the point, Kelsey Mitchell at shooting guard, Lexi Hull on the wing, Sabali at power forward, and Aaliyah Boston in the paint. That's a potential powerhouse. Sabali was a force last season, averaging 18.6 points, 8.1 rebounds, and 4.4 assists per game. Adding Clark's playmaking ability could elevate Sabali's game to a whole new level. Fans are buzzing about the possibility of her joining the Fever, especially after she liked social media posts from fans asking her to come to Indiana. Sabali's shooting ability and defensive versatility would complement the Fever's existing roster perfectly, but it's not just Sabali the Fever are interested in. They are also eyeing Gabby Williams, a standout from the Seattle Storm. Williams is known for her defense and versatility. She's an elite defender who can shut down opposing offenses and create turnovers. She also stepped up her scoring in the playoffs last season, averaging 17 points per game. Williams' experience and skill set could be the final piece the Fever need to build a championship-caliber team. Her ability to defend and score in clutch situations would mesh well with Clark's playmaking. The Fever are in the midst of creating something special, and their new state-of-the-art practice facility is a key part of that. It's designed to help players perform at their best, both on and off the court. With Caitlin Clark leading the way, and players like Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and potentially Sabali or Williams, the Fever are building a team that could dominate the WNBA for years. This is a big moment for the Fever, and they are aiming to set a new standard in the league. Their investment in their players and facilities shows that they are all in on building a dynasty. But with great expectations come great challenges. Can the Fever handle the pressure of being a title contender? Will their young stars continue to develop quickly enough to compete against established teams? The competition will be tough, but the Fever are ready to rise to the challenge. The WNBA is watching closely as the Fever work to build a championship team. Their success could inspire other teams to follow suit and step up their game. Will the Fever's investment pay off? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure. The WNBA is about to enter a new era, and the Indiana Fever are leading the charge.